Hello. In this video, we're going to talk about 3 new charts of custom objectives that are now available in the optimization options panel. If you're still not familiarized with what is a custom objective, how to add a custom objective, and the worst ways of using it, I recommend you to first see the video called Modeling Non-Financial Objectives, where we cover those topics. You can find the link below in the description of this video. But if you're ready, let's go to the screen. So we will start in Network Design app. I already loaded a dataset of a company that produces and distributes 3 types of paint, and it has included the custom objectives carbon emissions. If we go to the optimization panel, we can already see that there are 3 new charts: custom objectives by location, custom objectives by activity type, and custom objectives by transport type. And now, to see the functionality, let's take the following example. Assume that a company established the goal to reduce carbon emissions by 10% comparing to the previous year, and decided to take 3 major actions to achieve this. First, we will run an optimization for the first time to see the results without considering any custom objective. For that, we'll exclude these objectives by ticking off the boxes. Great. Now we will include the carbon emissions objectives by ticking in their row. Now we're selecting more than one objective, and the model will try and make the trade-off between the selected objectives during the optimization. If you want to enforce the value of the custom objective to decrease at least by 10% of its actual total value, you need to right-click on the actual value of maximum allowed in the row you want to change. In the pop-up menu, click on Set by Percentage of Total Value, and on the opening dialog page, fill in a positive or negative percentage in order to set a limit. In your case, it will be minus 10%. Now, the target for next year will be enforced to be respected in our simulation. But remember, the company also decided to take 3 following actions. The first action is to reduce 15,000 tons of carbon emissions in the production process. To do this, now we can go to the custom objectives by location and set a constraint for a location by setting an upper bound in its row on the maximum allowed column of the table. In this case, 15,000 tons less than the total value. The second action is to reduce 300,000 tons of carbon emissions emitted by their suppliers. We can do this by the custom objectives by activity type panel in the same way we did before. And the third action is to reduce 25 tons of carbon emissions for the primary truck type of transport. We can do this by the custom objectives by transport type, setting the constraint here. And finally, the budget for achieving this goal is 3 million euros. And we can add this constraint, setting a maximum allowed for the total cost, like this. Now we will optimize the model and see if what we're trying to enforce is feasible. Great, so the system found a solution. We can now see all constraints are being respected and that it was possible even to respect the budget. Now, if we take a closer look, we can notice that we're still not using the 100% of the budget. This means there is still room for decreasing the carbon emissions a bit more. To see until how much we can reduce our custom objectives with that budget, we can assign a high value in the weighted factor column, like 1,000, for example. By this action, during the trade-off happening in the background, the system will prioritize decreasing as much as possible the custom objective and use all the available budget. Let's optimize again and see what happens. Well, Now we can see that the budget is being used completely. This means there is no more room for decreasing carbon emissions with these conditions. And to understand how the weight factors impacts on the optimization, let's take a closer look to the transport report in result details. If we expand this chart, we can see cost of transportation between suppliers and resources. And if we scroll right, you can find two columns over here, custom objective cost and custom objectives natural unit. What's the difference? Well, under the column custom objective natural unit, you see the amount of carbon emissions in the unit you selected to measure it in your configuration. In our case, that's tons. And the column custom objective cost is calculated by multiplying the custom objective natural unit row for the weight factor. And as we inputted a high weight factor of 1,000, the system will not compare transport lanes only by price, but for the combinations of price and the custom objective cost. This means that the lanes that have like a high carbon emission will not be good for the optimization. Therefore, they will not be chosen. So this is what I wanted to show you in this video. I hope you have come up with ideas on how to use these new features on your models. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. See you in the next one.